Welcome.
You let us.
Go for your intro, Mr. Ryan.
Hi, I'm Ryan McCrone. Uh, this is Umpire State of Mind.
Yeah, you can tell we're all kind of like that really professional type podcast media bunch. But first and foremost, ladies and gentlemen who are going to be listening to this or watching this, as you know, if the few that followed us last year, Ryan and I had to take a step back last summer, and this summer we're back at it. Going to be going for all New York sports, and today we're going to kind of be focusing on the weekend review of the MLB baseball games with the Yankees and oh god, what are those colors we're wearing, Ryan?
Blue and orange.
Yeah, that's right, the Islanders. No, I'm kidding, the Mets. Sorry, guys. I'm just a sarcastic twit. Well, I told Ryan I wanted to start out with the Yankees. The team I don't usually praise that much, but if anybody saw a tweet I sent out this morning, New York fans, what the hell are you doing? No matter what happens in a game, you are a fan. You're sitting in the damn crowd. Why are you throwing garbage at the players? I mean, if you're throwing garbage because they're called the Guardians, I kind of understand. I mean, Chief Wahoo was probably there in the crowd helping you, but jeez. I mean, I'm only so irritated with this, Ryan, because it kind of gives all of us New Yorkers a bad name when it comes to it.
Yeah, it kind of makes us sound like Philly fans.
Ouch. Yeah, we're not throwing snowballs at Santa Claus anytime soon or batteries at
Scott
players
Walker.
and coaches, but
Yeah, I know.
hopefully my cousin.
It was a good weekend for the Yankees. They swept the Guardians, and it's going to take me a long time to get used to saying, but they had a good weekend. Um, not much to complain about for them, except fans. Other than that, great weekend. They're
I,
starting to
I
back
really,
Q more and more. I never understood the beginning of the year when he wasn't in the daily lineup. Um, the funny part for me though is Gio Urshela, who they traded, still continues to be a beast in the infield, making ridiculous plays, and I still have no idea why they traded him. He's a potential Gold Glove third baseman. He robbed the Mets a few times last year, and he's a pretty good hitter. I mean, check on his stats, but he was always a solid bat and an amazing glove.
now Yankee fans can, you know, email us, tweet us, whatever they want. They can throw their opinions, and I will never lie that I'm not as well versed in the Yankees as I am the Mets. But I always wondered why you go after a guy like Donaldson. Okay, he's still putting up some power numbers, but he's at the end of his career, and you're trading youth for age. Now, with the exception of getting rid of Gary Sanchez, best thing you guys could have ever done.
Yeah, I think that was the main concern on that trade was getting rid of Sanchez because they wanted Higashioka to be a starter there, and he's not a great batter, but the pitching staff prefers him. Garrett Cole's what matters. He
All right.
prefers Higgy, so you stick with Higgy.
What did they call Sanchez when he first came up? Baby Ruth
Yeah,
or
they
something like
wanted
that.
that to stick, and it really didn't.
I just kept thinking of Slot. Chunk Baby Ruth. But gotta applaud the Yankees players for trying to put an end to the garbage throwing. Judge was leading the charge. Not a huge fan of judges, but just
Same.
it's on the side of being a human being. Good for you. But Garrett Cole, shortest outing of his career, 1 2/3 innings, comes back, pitches 6 2/3, gets the win. But now there's a little bit of a controversy going around social media with Garrett Cole right now. After every pitch, you can see him wiping his hand on the back of his right leg. It's discolored. Now, logically, you could say it's warm out yesterday, it's dirt and sweat. But then everybody's going to go right to did he put a foreign substance on his pants to wipe it?
You know me, I am not Garrett Cole's biggest fan. I think that he's a cheater. I think that it doesn't change. I every time he has an up and a down and an up and a down, I'm going to think that he's kind of trying to figure out new ways to cheat. He was he had more of those 1 2/3 inning games when he was in Pittsburgh than he had the 6 2/3 innings. So he was a high four, mid four pitcher ERA, and I I don't think you have something click in your head and all of a sudden you're a much better pitcher. I think he's still cheating. I think he's trying to figure out new ways of cheating. So
Yeah,
that's just me.
you got me thinking on this one. Really, I can't spell his damn name properly. Garrett Cole. You know, his best year in Pittsburgh, he puts up a 2.6 in 2015 when he's an All Star. But you see him, as you're talking about, Ryan, bouncing around from a 3.65, 2.6, 3.88, 4.26, 2.88. And then he throws the 2.88 when he goes to Houston.
Yep.
He then throws a 2.5, a 2.84. All of a sudden he goes to New York and throws a 3.23, and last year a 4. I mean, this year a 4 when they start cracking down on it. So I hate to compare him right now to Jacob DeGrom, but I'm just going to do it to this instance. Jacob DeGrom, his numbers have consistently gone down. He's reinvented himself after every injury. And you don't see the jumping around in his ERA, his hits per 9 inning, his walks per 9 inning. But you do with a guy like Cole, and it just makes you think.
I actually most compare him to a guy like Clemens, who was really having interesting, fluctuating years in Boston. He couldn't get any consistency back, and all of a sudden he went to Toronto, got in ridiculous shape, and started putting up All Star numbers again. Like he All Star peaked, started going down, little fluctuations, and all of a sudden steroids, and turns back into the All Star pitcher he used to be.
When he goes to Toronto, he goes from skinny to Bolt in one
He
off
went from
season.
fat to bald. He was in bad shape when he was at his last few years in Boston. He was in bad shape.
Yeah, but if we ever see things guys like David Wells and Cecil Fielder, sometimes being fat isn't a bad thing.
Right, but if you're a pitcher who, I mean, if Pedro showed up 300 pounds, I don't think he'd turn into Bartolo Colon. I think he'd be out of shape and not able to pitch.
I was trying to leave Bartolo out of this, but
Yeah, but there are those guys who can pitch despite their size.
yes,
So
and he's another one that learned
yeah,
just how to reinvent himself.
yep. Um, Shifting gear to the Mets, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, seems like
Sorry,
something
Yankee
you should
fans,
talk about.
we're done bashing you.
We're not bashing. We actually said that they swept the Guardians. Garrett Cole looks like he's cheating again, so that's good news for Yankee fans.
Get rid of that contract.
Because you remember the last time they saw him last year, not cheating, he got his butt handed to him in the playoffs. That's being nice. And then, so if he's cheating, they have a good chance of having their ace pitcher back. Um, but yes, moving on to the Mets.
The Mets once again win another series. Now,
5 for 5.
Yankee fans can, or any baseball fans, Philly fans, whatever, they could sit there and they could say, well, the Mets are only beating the bottom feeding Arizona Diamondbacks. Well, newsflash for all you geniuses out there. You have to win against the teams you're supposed to win against, no matter when in the season it is. A lot of teams, and especially the Mets, when they were in their when they were projected maybe to make the playoffs, but they had their trouble years last year, for example. They're in first place all the way until July. Then all of a sudden they start losing against teams they're supposed to beat.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens?
Miss the playoffs. I'll say this though: the Mets fared. They took 3 out of 4 from the Giants. The Giants already were power rankings were one spot better than the Mets. So first team to double-digit wins, and you did it by taking out one of the few teams that are better than you. That's what the way you judge yourself is against the good teams. If you beat the good teams in a series, if we'd split that series, it'd have been one thing. But taking 3 out of 4, utterly big.
Now, we end up winning the series against the number one seed in the NL last year, 107 wins, which the Giants have never done, not even with a Willie Mays team, nothing. That was the most wins the Giants have ever had. And the beautiful part about this is And this, when I'm being negative, everybody, it's just because I love social media and all the negativity that goes on there. I swear to God, the tough people, the keyboard GMs, the keyboard warriors on Twitter, they'll sit there. Well, Evan Longoria wasn't there. They were not at full strength. The Giants team isn't as really good as they are. Yes, they are. Giants have good pitching, and they're built a certain way. And the Mets are kind of built like they were last year. We see when the Mets failed, where do you get? How far do you get when all you can do is hit home runs?
Second, first round of the playoffs usually.
Yeah, the Giants pitch well. They have a decent bullpen. They have a very good defense.
Hmm.
They have Liev Schreiber over there at shortstop. I swear to God, if there's ever a movie on the Giants, Liev Schreiber has to play Brandon Crawford.
Yes.
But they hit, they go station to station. They play the game the way it's supposed to, and that's why they won 107 games. So it is a big deal for the Mets to take 3 out of 4, even in April.
Yeah,
From
they're
them.
also a very well managed team, which is finally something we can say about the Mets.
Oh, Buck, oh, Buck, oh, Buck.
Remember,
Where do we
he's
start?
undefeated at Citi Field.
Where
They
do we
have lost.
start with Buck?
Buck wasn't there when we lost.
He was there when we lost, when Arizona beat us.
Not in Citi Field.
Yeah,
Said he's undefeated at Citi Field. He was not managing the Wednesday night when we lost. He came back
that's
the
right.
Thursday.
That's right. I forgot what day he was out.
Yeah, he was out that
Forgive
one
me.
night.
Oh, the College of Managers. But yes, he's undefeated at City Field. For as much as we love Terry Collins, and I do, Terry probably could have managed very well, but he, even in the World Series year, he had a very one dimensional team.
Hmm.
This is the first team that's really managed really well since Ryan. Guess who I'm going to say?
Bobby Valentine.
No, I was going to say Willie Randolph.
Yeah, no.
Just the 2006 year. He did that team right.
Yeah, but the difference between that 2006 year and what Buck does is there was a report that Buck spent 2 hours with the team on the rule of what to do when you get hit by a baseball.
Charge the
If
man.
you're a runner and you get hit by the ball, Buck spent 2 hours going over that rule.
Wow, I have never seen two freaking runners in the same game get
Nope,
hit by a ball.
never seen it.
And Robinson Cano, what the are you doing? When the ball is hit to your left, advance to third. Even if you are slow, they
No,
still have to make a perfect throw to third base to throw you
he'd
out.
have been out by a mile there.
Well, I'm just saying the odds of the statistical odds where the player has to make a perfect throw, if he actually hustled, there was more of a chance at him walking right into the ball.
If he had just he he barely moved. It looked like he was trying to get hit by pitch there. If he had moved a little either way, he'd have been fine. If he had decided to run to third, okay, it'd be a close play. If he had just gone back to second with anything more than one step, he'd have been okay. Occasionally you have to jump, but it was a lazy play by him. And some people will say, "Oh yeah, it's a hard play to get. It's hard to get out of the way of the ball." Yeah, it is for us. For major league ball players, it's a lot easier.
Now, I was saying to somebody yesterday, they won another series in Arizona. Now, the Mets have only lost one game in every series this year.
Hmm.
You said 5 straight series wins. Even though you can say the way the runs were scored yesterday and the way the series was played against Arizona, it was ugly. The bullpen falters. And even when you say scoring the runs, when the Mets score a run by a hit by a pitch and a walk, I say that as being ugly because it's ugly on Arizona's point. But ugly wins are wins. A win is a win, and no one can see in the stat column in the standings that, there's an asterisk next to that win. They have the solo home run, and that's really about it. It's all that counts is a win.
It's all that matters. My old coach used to say, "You won and lost by one run, no matter how good or bad you did." That was mostly to talk to us pitchers to make sure that we didn't get way over on ourselves. I let in 7 runs that game. Yeah, but you lost by the one. So go back and fix that first one.
Yeah, I had a coach who used to say that. You let in one bad goal, you lose 4-3, and then but you. I always still got in my head. It's like, if I just would have had that one back.
Yeah, but he also wanted us to have short memories on the mound.
Yeah.
Because
Now, I'm sorry, Ryan. You can
it
finish your
really
story.
does. If you let it stay in your head, you're gonna keep going out there and pitching with that problems. And I think that that's affected some Mets pitchers in the past. I always brought up the fact that Diaz overthrew a lot, and I don't think that he let off a game tying home run with two strikes and two outs this week. And I don't think he's pitched. I'm not sure if he's pitched since, but I guarantee it's not going to spill into his next closing opportunity like it did the last couple years.
I guess a great example of that right now would be Tyler McGill.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he lets up 4 runs, he doesn't get a loss in the situation. But he comes back with a vengeance yesterday.
Oh
And
man,
I hope you're watching Miss Jules McGill because we will be sitting down with her and she'll be joining us one day.
I think we should actually.
Preferably after her son's start.
I mean, that's the goal. Get her on after a start so she can tell us everything she saw from him.
Now I really want to know, is it pronounced Tyler or Tyler?
I thought it was Tyler, but I could be terribly wrong.
Yeah, but can't trust people in the media the way they
Yeah,
say everything.
baseball announcers are utterly bad, the worst, especially if they're the Nats announcers. They'll pronounce any name wrong.
Well, at least FP's not there anymore. So now, well, since Ryan and I live out in Virginia now, outside of Washington D.C., we make fun of FP Santangelo and
We should.
the Nats announces a lot. So, um, yeah, Tyler comes back, has a great game. You brought up Joel
Oh no.
Rodriguez.
All right.
What's up?
You froze there for a sec. It's okay.
Yeah.
You're good now. Joely Rodriguez, go with him.
Nah, you were bringing up to me before about you know he's down over his last few outings a .9 ERA. I was honestly convinced that Rodriguez has pitched himself out as of May 1st, and Shreve was pitching himself into the bullpen. The guy has come back with a vengeance after a couple bad outings, which is what you want to see from our bullpen. Mets fans, we are a freaking jaded bunch.
Yes.
So bad that, oh my God, Edwin Diaz blew a save. That we're so used to friggin' J. Reese Familia and everybody else blowing leads, and Diaz, no offense, your first year, I'm sorry.
Can I?
That every time a Mets bullpen arm gives up a run or two, it's the end of the friggin' world.
Hmm? I was one thing that I've been listening to a lot is a lot of talk on the pitchers and the Mets staff and how they all have conversations after every inning, after every outing. And I'm wondering, I haven't heard whether or not the bullpen staff is doing that with the starting pitchers as well. But if they are, and this is one big conversation that's happening, maybe that these guys are helping. I doubt that they just stopped with the starters. If they're having these discussions after, that can be something that can help a guy like Diaz, who if he's if he's getting too emotional, definitely a guy like Scherzer can help and come in and fix that. And a lot of these younger relief pitchers as well can get that benefit. So
Now,
it
now I
could be a
did,
great problem to have
I
having this many veterans.
yeah, and I did love the fact that we were through the first week of the season. You saw Chris Bassett, Scherzer, and Cookie talking to younger pitchers,
By the way,
and then just
Cookie.
we'll get to Cookie in a second. And then you hear Ron and Gary say yesterday that Scherzer now makes it demands that the starting pitcher, when he comes out of the game, has to stop and talk to the rest of the rotation. Which to hear a leader, to hear a veteran, to hear a three-time Cy Young winner, a World Series winner, whatever else he's friggin' won in his lifetime, sit there and tell, no matter if you're David Peterson, no matter if you're Chris Bassett and Cookie Carrasco, you have to come there and debrief, so to speak,
Yeah,
which is really freaking interesting, but it seems to be working right now.
it's the best thing you could do as a pitcher because so many times you don't get to see what worked and didn't work, but you don't know why it didn't work. And these guys are watching every pitch you make, and they can give you advice on, maybe you're slipping down a little, your elbows dropping a little bit, maybe you're landing on the ball of your foot as opposed to the front of your foot. I was just listening to an interview where Randy Johnson was talking about how Nolan Ryan talked to him about it. He's like, yeah, you're landing on the back of your heel of your foot, and that means that you are totally going to lose control the second you start moving forward. And that was the fix that Randy Johnson really needed. And it's having these other pitchers being able to look at you and say, there it is. That's what you're doing wrong.
Now, you brought up Cookie,
Yes.
Carlos Carrasco. So I want every single Met fan who sat there and tweeted out at spring training that Cookie Carrasco should be dumped. I want you to stand up and pull your head out of your ass right now.
So I think one of the reasons is we've had these starters before, and I was not one of those fans. I was waiting to see what Cookie had this year. There are a lot of fans who are used to having the old reliever as our the old starting pitcher as our number five, the guy who's way past their prime, and they go in and they just stink. And people thought they could cut the chase and just hate him to begin with, which it didn't work. Cookie's pitching really well, and he's not doing it by overpowering anyone. He's pitching intelligently. He is keeping his pitch count down. He's landing his pitches. His breaking balls look great. Yeah, he is exactly what you need in that position.
Now, I understand what you mean about, over the hill guys, older guys, always getting injured. I get it, Met fans. When I say pull your head out of your ass, I'm joking, but at the same time, sometimes age isn't always everything.
No.
And the reason I'm saying that is I made a mention of it earlier, but go back to the 2006 starting rotation. Tom Glavine's 40, Steve Trachsel's 35, Pedro Martinez 34, Orlando Hernandez is 40. And the young one in that rotation was John Maine at 25. Now, the only reason I'm bringing that up is sometimes the old men are surprising. Sometimes they get the job done. And I brought that very harsh comment up just because it wasn't about, oh, I don't know if Cookie should be starting right now because of his injuries, blah, blah, blah. It was because of his outings at spring training. And what most people didn't take into account in spring training is he's coming off surgery. They had a very, very extremely abbreviated spring training, especially for pitchers who usually show up 2 weeks before the rest of the players.
Yep.
And he didn't have the greatest spring training outings. But once the games count, what is he doing right now? He's phenomenal. Will it last all season? He's going to have his bad outings, just like every pitcher. But Ryan and I were talking about this. If you get, say, you get 20 from Scherzer, I wanted 20 from DeGrom, but his injury is going to put him out the side.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, you get 15 from Bassett and Cookie, and 12 from uh, the why am I going blank? What?
You think Tyler?
No. Oh God. Why am I going blank? All-star pitcher from the Mets last year.
Taiwan.
Thank you, Taiwan Walker. Why the hell did I just go blank?
I don't know.
Sorry, guys. Brain fart. I'm old. I'm 41. It happens. I got hit in the head a lot in my life. Yeah, and you get 12 from Taiwan Walker. That is a really good starting rotation.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not worried about a starting rotation. I think our relief pitchers are good enough. I'd like to upgrade a little bit halfway through the year. But I think we'll be fine. I think that there's going to be a lot of overreaction, which there always is. I think batting averages are, it's way too early to talk to people about that because, when every game affects your batting average this highly, and it's no longer every at bat, but it's every game. Like JD Davis turned it around a little bit. Um, but he has a small sample size on his batting average right now. But you got guys who are starting to definitely put it together. Francisco Lindor is having a great beginning, uh, and so is McNeil. And these guys are hitting the ball except for Cano.
And you know who else I'll throw in on that one, but that's okay.
Yeah,
Um, we'll leave him out of today. I'm not going to bash him off
there you
today.
go.
I'm going to be positive for once.
I want us to stay positive, and I'm positive we're
Let,
gonna trade him.
Lindor is having this start that Met fans we hoped he would have had last year. But shit happens, people.
Yeah.
It's a bad year. Every athlete has a bad year.
Well, you have the other thing to keep in mind in Lindor's bad years. Look at his managing, look at his hitting coaching, look at everything. He's swinging the bat differently now. He's not uppercutting the ball as much as he was. He's not going for a home run every at bat. All the Mets have improved their batting because they're hitting the ball again. They don't expect to get a home run every at bat. Lindor's running the bases properly again. Having Alex Cora as a third base, Joey
Joey Cora.
Joey Cora. Why did I say Alex Cora?
You
Having
don't want the
Joey
cheater
Cora
there. You want Joey Cora.
having Joey Cora as a third base coach has been fantastic, except for the one time he sent someone Pete Alonso. Um,
Yeah, but that's okay. Every third base coach
we're
is going to take a
we
chance at
are
a time.
aggressive on the bases. We're stealing bases, and it's just you don't have to hit the home run because you've got guys going first to third. Pete Alonso went first to home the other day. That doesn't happen often. But getting guys in motion and winning with actual baseball as opposed to just home runs every time is fantastic. I'm loving it.
So if I was still playing baseball and I was behind the plate and I saw Pete Alonso running first to home, I would probably be shitting in my pants that he'd take me out.
Why? Who do you
Because
think do you think he's Voight?
no, but just that guy's when he gets going, it's like he's gonna need some help stopping. Because once he's going, he's going.
But therein lies the difference between a quality of player between Luke Voigt, who crushed a catcher,
Yeah,
totally illegal slide, and Pete Alonso would not do that.
yeah. But Pete Alonso is not also swinging for the fences too.
No,
It's
he's driving in a lot of runs with either fly balls for sacked flies or doubles or singles.
going the other way a lot.
Yeah, it's really nice to watch guys play baseball, and it's rare.
Playing it the right, playing it the right way, and a sack fly is a very useful tool because getting the run in is the most important thing.
I mean, look at the other day.
And
Mark, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say just as opposed to years past, just the approach Eric Chavez has given this team, or Chavez, however you say his last name, uh, just putting the bat on the ball, getting it in play, instead of swinging for the fences or trying too hard to shoot the gap to get the run in. I mean,
Hmm.
it's a new approach.
The other day, Starling Marte runs it out, wins the game in extra innings because he didn't jog to first, which so many players still do.
Yeah,
And
and
he got the call overturned.
yeah,
Great.
I think that was like his second in 2 days or second in that game. I couldn't remember, but
Yep.
there
He's
was he runs it out, and um, congratulations to Starlin Marte, by the way, getting his 300th career stolen base yesterday,
hmm
and at the same time having to drag his junk across the third baseman's head just to score a run because he wouldn't get out of the way.
Yeah, that was awkward.
Which I was really curious that if Marte got thrown out, if the ump would have called obstruction on that and gave him the base.
It As long as it's not Angel Hernandez back there, we have a chance.
Oh, jeez, I can't believe you got me with that one.
Um,
Ryan, Ryan sends me an interesting text message and has three missed calls from Angel Hernandez. I'm like, and at first I'm like, is he getting scammed or is this who I think it is? And three missed calls. It took me a minute to pick up
yeah,
on it.
you gotta think about it.
Man, you gotta give me time to wake my brain up in the morning sometimes.
All right, I think we should talk a little bit about what we're gonna be doing over the next few weeks. Hopefully, with the podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know we're here not just to talk about baseball. It's going to be all sports, but now you can go to umpirestateofminds.com. It has a link to our YouTube page, which will normally be broadcasting live from, not Facebook, but we'll be doing that. It has all of our social media. You can subscribe to our website and follow our social media. Ryan and I will be raffling off a jersey of a team and player of choice of the winner. There's just going to be information, photo galleries. We have our affiliates page where we're affiliated with a lot of different sports groups here in the DC metro area, events that we're doing for the games, and just a lot of different things. And now that my shameless plug, oh, I've got one more shameless plug I promised somebody I was going to do. If there's anybody here in the DC area that's not a part of the DC Met yet, we will be going as a group to take over Nats Park once again on Wednesday, May 11th. Hey, You can see us on TV on a couple pictures I posted there. We seen Ryan and I seem to be magnets for the TV camera,
Somehow
or
people
it's because
see
we're
us
sitting
on
next to,
TV.
or we sit next to Cowbell Man. It could have been that one too, but it's just a fun time. Drinks all around. But with that said, coming soon, NFL talk. Ooh, Ryan.
So, as a Bills fan, we have a lot of things to celebrate. Pat here is a Giants fan. They have a brand new approach to the game, new coach, new offensive coordinator, new everyone. So, except players. Yeah, they got some new players. We have the
Well,
NFL draft.
our new approach is be like the Bills and go to 4 Super Bowls and lose them all.
Hey,
Sorry.
we're going to be talking to a lot of other fans around the country. A few in Canada for the Bills fans, and hopefully we will have some really fun interviews that people enjoy. So, also, if you're a fan and you want to talk to us, let us know. We'll see if we can get you on.
When you subscribe to our website, you can email us. Our whole point behind this is, and I stated a lot in the website, is Ryan and I have a particular point of view on things where we kind of hate the quote unquote experts that you see on TV because they're biased. They don't give whole stories. They have certain point of views. So we wanted to kind of create this podcast for fans by fans where we want everybody, if you want to come on and just talk, you're more than welcome to. Everybody can participate in this.
We're gonna have. I hope to have my brother on, who's making the comment, who's commenting to me right now, so he can trash the Jets. So he's the angry Jets fan we'll be having on. So we got all three major. We have the New York team and the two outlying Jersey teams represented in football, and we've got some hockey talk. And there we go. Anyway, so I think it's important. We're gonna try and get some faces you might enjoy.
We're going to try and get some fans. I've been in contact with a few people, like I mentioned, Miss Jules McGill, mother of Tyler McGill. I've been in contact with actor Brett Azar, who is also the incomparable, his alter ego, Donnie Stevenson, the Mets hitting guru from last year. And we're just trying to, speak to some players, speak to fans, have fun, talking hockey, football. We're going to be doing a little bit of a draft reactions where I will be coming on live during the draft with um, my wife's cousin-in-law, however you want to put him, who is from South Jersey, and he's unfortunately a Eagles fan. But I won't hold that against him. But we're going to talk a little bit of the draft. Ryan will be on later on, giving his opinions on what the Bills did in the draft. I'll be reacting to what the Giants did and probably pulling my hair out after it's done. But let's hope it's not.
Yeah,
Let's hope
I'm
it's
hoping
good.
the Bills have a nice draft. I'm I hate to do football talk here, but hopefully the Bills trade. I want us to trade up and get Sauce, so we have another excellent cornerback. But running back, cornerback, that's all I want. So, but I think this is what we're looking to do. People cover more than just baseball, because baseball is a lot of fun, but we have other passions.
Yes, it is. And especially one of the fun things about sports is always the off season. I love the first day of the NFL draft. I love the first day of free agency for the NHL. It's a fun time when you get a lot of sports news going on, and we may really touch on some obscure stuff. Like we may touch on golf or something every now and then. Ryan and I
Mostly to
go
complain
golfing a
about
lot.
ourselves, probably. Mostly
What's
just to
up?
mostly just to yell at ourselves for our lack of ability in golf. I think.
Yeah, and that's where I always bring up Leslie Nielsen's most famous quote. The reason the game is called golf is because all the other four-letter words have been taken.
Amen to that. All
Yes.
right, man. Think we should wrap it up
So
for today.
yeah, ladies and gentlemen, come check us out. Have fun. Get in contact with us. Come join us.
All right, everybody. Have a great one.